What's up, everybody? It's your boy aka Big Zeke, coming at y'all with another weekly inspirational thought. I pray that you and your families have been doing well, and we're going to jump right into this week's thought, which is entitled God's Approval is All That Matters. God's approval is all that matters. I got a few reference scriptures which will be listed in the comments section as always, and let's get right into this thing. The first is coming from Romans chapter 8, verse 31. I'll be reading the King James Version for all of these. So it reads, what shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? The next is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And finally, Matthew 25 and 23. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Okay. So we're talking about God's approval being all that matters. We live in a world today that's almost driven, I hate to say it, on what everybody thinks, right? Everybody's voicing their opinions on social media. Everybody's voicing their opinions on podcasts, on talk shows, etc., etc. And a lot of people are living their lives based off of what others are saying or thinking about them. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, the only opinion that truly matters in our lives is God's. That's the only one that truly matters. And at the end of the day, when we look at it, if we're looking to please everybody else, that's going to, I mean, a lot of times that leads us down some dark paths, you know. That leads us down some self-conscious issues, some self-reflection issues, because if we don't reach a certain plateau that we think we ought to reach because of what people think, then we automatically think we're a failure. We think we've let ourselves down or let people down. And ultimately, the only opinion in our lives that should matter is God's, okay? So, God blessed me with a few thoughts for this week, and we're going to jump right into them. The first is this: God created the heavens and the earth, so he knows what's best for us. I just read it, Genesis 1 and 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Why is that being applied here? Well, think about it. Who would know what's best for you than the one that created you? Who would know what's best for you better than the one who knows you inside and out? The one that knows the hairs on your head. The one that knows your thoughts before you even think them. The one that knows what you're going to do before you even know what you're going to do. I don't know about y'all, but me, I've come to realize that God knows what's best for me. It may not always, seem like it because I don't get what I want. But ultimately, God makes sure that I have everything that I ever need. He always has. He always will. He's doing it right now. And I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for y'all. you know, there's a personal testimony type of thing. I can speak for me. Now, I can say that I know that God is an equal God and he's going to do the same for you as long as you trust him. But that's something you have to experience for yourself. Okay? God created the heaven and the earth. So he knows what's best for us. Now, yeah, y'all have heard me say this before. You got people in your life that may mean well. You know, they may, they may mean well, but they may not necessarily be giving you the right type of advice in your life. They'll be telling you to go right when God is telling you to stay straight. Who are you going to listen to? God or the people around you that's close to you that mean well? They don't mean no harm by telling you to go right. They think they're telling you the right thing. But the difference between thinking and knowing is actually knowing, right? God knows the path that he got you on. He knows what he has in store for you if you stay straight. People think that things are going to turn out a certain way if you go right. And it's not that they're doing it like I said, out of malicious intent. They could mean it from the bottom of their heart that they want to see you do well, but they don't know. God knows. So why wouldn't I want to seek the approval of the one who knows? Why wouldn't I want to please the one who knows? And that's God. God knows. Okay. Point number two. Sometimes people are going to hate or come against what we live or stand for, and they may even try to change our focus or position in life. But we can't let peer pressure change how we operate. All that should matter in our lives is pleasing God, doing God's will in our lives no matter what anyone says or thinks, even if others try to rise up against us. How do I know that? Romans 8:31. What shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Now, I know a lot of people probably looking at that last part like, even if they rise against us, we living in a time now, people will get mad at you because you don't agree with them. People will literally try to fight you if you don't agree with them or you don't do what they're suggesting you do. And it sounds weird and it sounds crazy, but I've heard about instances like this. People will literally go out of their way to make your life miserable all because you don't agree with them or you don't go with what they're telling you to do or you don't do what they want you to do. People will get mad. They will disown you. They will have an attitude towards you. They'll start rumors. They'll lie on you. They'll hate on you. All because you don't do what they think you should do. You notice God doesn't do any of that. God is like that loving father that's sitting there and he'll wait. Okay, you want to go be rebellious? Okay. He'll only let you go so far, but he ain't out here spreading lies about you. He ain't out here, threatening you, threatening you and saying, "Hey, all right, if you don't do what I said you're gonna do, I'm gonna knock you out, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." You know, that's not God. So again, goes back to what this topic is about. God's approval is all that matters. Why would I want the approval of someone who gets mad if I don't go with what they want? Why would I want to go get the approval of someone who will go the lengths of lying on me and try to uh, uh, besmirch my character? I know that's an old fashioned word, y'all. That's what came to me. But try to take down or besmirch my character. Um, because I don't do what they think I ought to do. Why would I want that person's approval? I'd rather have the approval of someone who has nothing but good thoughts and nothing but love and nothing but joy. There's a scripture where God was speaking to us and he says he has nothing but good thoughts for us. And I add that, I believe that's Jeremiah 29:11. Don't quote me, but I add it. Um, but yeah, why would I want the approval of someone who's going to get upset or try to come against my moral ethics or my moral code and try to get me to do something that's out of character or out of pocket? Why would I want that approval? Take it off me for a second and ask that question to yourselves if you're watching this video. Why would you want the approval of someone who's trying to get you to change your focus or change your position and it's not doing what's best for you? Think about that. That scripture said, if God be for us, who can be against us? If God got your back, it don't matter what nobody else say. God's approval is all that matters. I would rather have God tell me that he's pleased with me and everybody else be mad at me than for everybody else to be happy with me and God to be disapproving of what I'm doing. And that ties into this next point, the final point, which God blessed me with, which is this. At the end of the day, I would rather have God's love. I would rather have God love me and bless me and tell me that I've been a good and faithful servant than to fight for the approval of others who can't love me nor bless me like God can anyways. Matthew 25:23. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. I would rather have God tell me that I've been a good and faithful servant and show his love to me and his approval to me than to fight for the approval of those who, number one, can't love me like God can, number two, can't bless me like God can, and number three, can't take me where God is going to take me in life and after this life. And it's not an angry thing that I'm saying. It's not a hate-filled thing that I'm saying. It's just prioritizing. Who am I trying to please? I'd rather please God. I'm not trying to please mankind. Y'all have heard me talk about that before, in previous videos. I'd rather be a God pleaser, not a man pleaser. Because people will let you down. God will never let you down. If you trust him. It's an old saying, he may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time. And that is definitely a true statement. God may not come when you want him to, but he's always right on time. And with that being said, if I know that God never fails me, then why wouldn't I want his approval over my life? If I know that God can love me like no other, then why wouldn't I want his approval? If I know that God can bless me like no other, then why wouldn't I want his approval? If I know because I know that God has created me and he knows me inside and out and he knows the hairs on my head, then why wouldn't I want his approval above all else? I don't know about y'all, but for those reasons, that's why in my life, God's approval is all that matters. That's all I got for this week. I thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Take care of each other. Love one another. Assess your lives and remember that God's approval should be the only approval that matters. I love y'all. Take care. As always, be inspired.